here on a cold and frosty February morning in Kingsclere in North Hampshire. It's where we're going to start today's walk. It's a 6-mile jaunt across the North Hants Downs that ultimately takes us to Beacon Hill. It starts here at the remarkable St Mary's Church, Kingsclere. It's a Norman church restored in 1848 where they gave these exterior walls of split flints. And up there is the weather vane, where Kingsclere's remarkable story begins. King Henry II built Fremantle Deer Park up there, and his son, King John, one of our more grumpy monarchs, was a regular visitor. It was whilst attempting to leave during one of these visits, he was prevented from leaving Kingsclere by fog and was forced to take up hostelry in a local pub, the Crown, whereupon he was set upon by an assailant. But this assailant was no human. 'Twas a bedbug, and it kept him awake all night long. In the morning, things got a little bit tetchy, and the king declared that henceforth the town would bear a bedbug weather vane as a sign of his royal displeasure. Our route takes us all the way to the top of the hill. Just down there, that house within the grounds is Sidmonton Court, a 16th century house which is today owned by the musical composer and impresario Andrew Lloyd Webber. And he bought the estate on funds amassed from his production Jesus Christ Superstar. And he owns much of the land. He owns Watership Down, and today he's known as Baron Lloyd Webber of Sidmonton. And you can actually see just to the side there is the private chapel of the estate, which he had converted into a theatre, a mini theatre. And what he does is he shows all his productions to a hand-picked audience before it goes out to a public consumption. And this has proved very successful because that way people can be physically restrained from leaving the building, and in some cases they're even chained to their seats. Do you know, I've been coming up on Watership Down now. This is about my 5th visit. And in all the times I've come here, I have never once seen a rabbit. Of course, what the book did do was introduce to us a whole new sort of rabbit mythology. No longer were these a bunch of carrot-munching, cutesy, cuddly leporines. Now they had an ordered society, sometimes totalitarian. They could be humane, they could be despotic, they could be psychic, they could be psychotic. And it's not so far-fetched as you might think, because I've had rabbits myself. I kept a few, and one of them was just a complete nutter, off the map. This thing was uncontrollable, but ultimately very tasty. The most famous of the Earls was George Herbert, who, along with Howard Carter, made one of the most sensational archaeological discoveries ever. A keen Egyptologist The 5th Earl had sponsored Howard Carter since 1907, and on the 26th of November 1922, the two men uncovered the previously unknown tomb of a boy pharaoh by the name of Tutankhamen. This gap between the walls would have been the south gate, the main entrance to the Iron Age Hell Fort. And it faces south. And down there is what's known as 7 Barrows Down, where a rash of burial mounds straddles the busy A34. Along those flat fields was where the career of one of Britain's most enigmatic aircraft designers of the 20th century, his career literally took off from those fields on the 10th of September 1910. Jeffrey de Havilland was literally our very own aviator. In 1920 he formed the de Havilland Aircraft Company and was instrumental in the design of over 50 aircraft, which include the Tiger Moth and the Mosquito. The Mosquito was just the most sensational aircraft of World War II. It was built entirely of wood, and it sacrificed heavy armaments for speed and agility and could notch up speeds of 380 miles per hour. Jeffrey de Havilland was knighted in 1944, and he went on to design the world's first turbojet passenger airliner, the Comet. He died in 1965. The memorial stone and 7 Barrows Down was put there in 1966. For the movie buffs amongst you who recognise his name, he was cousin to the 2 Oscar-winning sibling actresses, Joan Fontaine and Olivia de Havilland, best known for her role in Gone with the Wind. The Mosquito is my way of linking Jeffrey de Havilland's story with that of the 5th Earl. For only months after the discovery of Tutankhamen, he was found dead on the 5th of April 1923 in his room in the Winter Palace Hotel in Cairo. He had cut an infected mosquito bite whilst shaving. Some people said, and still say, that it was as a result of the dreaded curse of the mummy. The fact that Howard Carter lived for another 16 years doesn't seem to equate. But in accordance with the Earl's wishes, his body was brought back to his beloved Highclere and buried here within the ramparts of the Hell Fort.